Christmas is supposed to be about joy, family, and peace on earth. But what if I told you that some of the most terrifying supernatural entities in cinema prefer to hunt during the most wonderful time of the year? Today we're diving into 8 Christmas horror films that prove the holiday season isn't always merry and bright. From ancient Alpine demons to possessed children at Christmas dinner, these movies will make you think twice about leaving milk and cookies out for Santa. I'm covering films from across the globe: American demon folklore, Dutch ghost stories, Finnish monster myths, and French occult nightmares. Each one weaponizes Christmas traditions against us, turning symbols of comfort into sources of pure terror. And I'm saving the most disturbing Christmas demon film for last, one that combines holiday cheer with satanic ritual. If you're ready to discover why Christmas might be the most dangerous time of year, let's dive in. Movie 1, Krampus, 2015. Krampus begins with the Engel family hosting relatives for Christmas, but instead of joy, we get bickering and materialism. Young Max, disgusted by his family's behavior, tears up his letter to Santa. That's when everything goes wrong. Max's rejection of Christmas awakens Krampus, the anti-Santa from Alpine folklore, a horned goat-like demon who punishes those who lose their Christmas spirit. Unlike Santa's jolly ho-ho-ho, Krampus brings chains, bells, and an army of demonic Christmas helpers. What makes Krampus terrifying is how it weaponizes the very essence of Christmas itself. Gingerbread men become vicious attackers with razor-sharp teeth. Christmas angels transform into winged demons. A jack-in-the-box swallows a family member whole. The film's mythology runs deep. Max's grandmother reveals she encountered Krampus as a child in Austria during World War II, when her family lost their Christmas spirit during dark times. As the blizzard intensifies, Krampus's demonic elves hunt the family, dragging them into an underworld beneath the house. His lair contains snow globes with trapped families, their personal Christmas hell. Krampus works because it taps into real anxieties about modern Christmas: commercialization, family dysfunction, and loss of genuine spirit. The demon becomes a supernatural consequence for our holiday failures. Movie 2, A Christmas Horror Story, 2015. A Christmas Horror Story weaves together 4 supernatural tales, connected by a radio DJ slowly losing his mind on Christmas Eve. Each story escalates in horror, creating a tapestry of Christmas nightmares. The first follows a family retrieving their Christmas tree from a forest where a murder occurred. Their son begins acting violently after the trip, displaying an obsession with an imaginary friend. The parents realize their child has been replaced by a changeling, a demonic entity feeding on family bonds. The second involves teenagers investigating the forest murder for a school project. They discover the crime was ritual sacrifice, and the forest is haunted by vengeful child spirits that drag the living into their supernatural realm on Christmas Eve. The third story is most disturbing. A family visits the husband's aunt, only to discover she's been dead for weeks. Something keeps her animated, feeding on Christmas traditions while slowly corrupting everyone around her, turning Christmas dinner into a demonic feast. The final story brings Krampus to Santa's North Pole workshop, turning elves into demons and forcing Santa into supernatural battle for Christmas itself. The film reveals Santa and Krampus as eternal enemies in an annual war between joy and punishment. What makes this anthology work is how each story reflects different Christmas horror aspects: family dysfunction, corrupted innocence, death during celebration, and the eternal battle between good and evil. Movie 3, Saint, 2010. Saint transforms the Dutch Sinterklaas tradition into supernatural revenge. In 1492, Saint Nicholas wasn't a saint. He was Nicholas, a corrupt bishop who terrorized Amsterdam with Moorish pirates, murdering families while masquerading as a gift giver. When townspeople killed Nicholas and his men, they thought their nightmare was over. But every December 5th with a full moon, Saint Nicholas returns as a vengeful specter with ghostly Black Peters to continue their reign of terror. The film follows Frank, a detective whose family was murdered by Saint Nicholas as a child. Now an adult, Frank prepares for the ghost's return, stockpiling weapons while trying to warn a disbelieving city. When the full moon rises, Amsterdam becomes a war zone. Saint corrupts every Sinterklaas tradition. The bishop's staff becomes an impaling weapon. Gift sacks collect body parts. Traditional songs become ominous warnings as the ghost's presence spreads. The action is relentless. St. Nicholas moves with supernatural speed, appearing and disappearing while his Black Peters swarm through windows and chimneys. They feed on terror and chaos, growing stronger as night progresses. Saint works by taking a cherished cultural tradition and revealing potential darkness beneath, making every December 5th celebration potentially dangerous. Movie 4, Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. Rare Exports begins with an archaeological dig in Finnish mountains, uncovering something buried for centuries, the honest Santa Claus. But this isn't the jolly gift giver from Christmas cards. The original Santa was an ancient demon, a horned creature predating Christianity, worshipped by pagan tribes. This entity demanded child sacrifices during the winter solstice. Early Christians trapped and buried the creature, but the story was sanitized into the modern Santa myth. When explosives cracked the creature's prison, they awaken Santa's supernatural ecosystem. The mountains are populated with naked, feral old men. Santa's helpers transformed by demonic influence into savage child hunters. Young Pietari pieces together the truth as children disappear. Christmas traditions worldwide contain hints of the original demon, with an emphasis on children being good, supernatural surveillance, and winter timing, all pointing to an ancient predator. The real Santa is a massive horned beast with glowing eyes and insatiable hunger for children. His helpers move in packs, communicating through grunts with pack-hunting behavior. But Rare Exports' genius lies in its third act. The locals capture and export the creature, turning ancient evil into a commercial venture. They package Santa like any dangerous animal, complete with feeding instructions. The ending suggests multiple Santa demons buried worldwide, each a potential rare export for the wealthy. Movie 5, The Children, 2008. The Children transforms a British Christmas family gathering into a survival horror where children become the threat. Two families unite for a countryside Christmas, but their young children start showing signs of illness, fevers, unusual behavior, and blank staring. Something strips away their innocence, replacing it with calculating malevolence. What's disturbing is these aren't obviously possessed children. They look normal, making their violence shocking. A 4-year-old pushes her cousin off a platform. A boy uses Christmas decorations for deadly traps. The film builds paranoia among adults who initially blame accidents or rivalry. Even with overwhelming evidence, parents struggle to accept their children as threats. This denial creates opportunities for repeated strikes. The supernatural element remains unexplained. A virus affecting developing brains, demonic possession targeting innocence, environmental contamination awakening psychopathy. The ambiguity makes it more terrifying. Children's methods become sophisticated, sabotaging cars, using innocent appearance to approach victims, coordinating attacks with military precision. The Christmas setting amplifies horror. Violence surrounded by twinkling lights and wrapped presents creates a jarring contrast between seasonal joy and supernatural terror. Movie 6, The Hole in the Ground, 2018. The Hole in the Ground utilizes an Irish winter landscape as the setting for a supernatural thriller that explores motherhood and the ancient forces that prey on family bonds. Sarah and her son, Chris, move to rural Ireland near a massive forest sinkhole that locals avoid discussing. When Chris disappears into the forest and returns acting differently, Sarah suspects something replaced her son with an identical copy. This changeling story's effectiveness lies in subtlety. Chris looks the same, but small details feel wrong. He eats differently, responds to jokes with blank stares, and appears to be studying rather than interacting. The hole becomes a character, described as bottomless, with locals whispering about things in its depths. It's suggested as a gateway to an underground realm where ancient entities dwell, occasionally emerging to interact with humans above. These beings can't understand human emotion, only mimic it imperfectly. Sarah discovers that other children went missing near the hole, with families reporting similar experiences. The film builds to a confrontation where Sarah must choose between accepting the supernatural duplicate or venturing into the hole to retrieve her real son. The Irish setting amplifies supernatural elements, an ancient haunted landscape with stone circles and ruins, suggesting centuries of supernatural activity. Movie 7, Dead End. Dead End transforms a Christmas Eve road trip into supernatural purgatory, exploring guilt and inescapable fate. The Harrington family drives to Christmas dinner when their father, Frank, takes an unfamiliar shortcut, trapping them in a supernatural loop where the same forest highway repeats endlessly. A mysterious woman in white appears, collecting family members one by one. She's a vengeful spirit who died on this road, now serving as a psychopomp, a supernatural guide to the afterlife. But she's not benevolent. She feeds on family guilt and secrets, using their Christmas Eve journey for supernatural justice. Each loop reveals Harrington family secrets, affairs, resentments, and buried guilt that have been festering for years. The supernatural woman knows these secrets, using them for psychological torture before claiming victims. Dead End works as both a supernatural horror and a psychological thriller. The road could be a literal supernatural trap or represent the family's inability to escape dysfunction. The Christmas Eve setting adds urgency and irony. This should be a time of family togetherness, but it becomes a supernatural reckoning where past sins demand payment. Movie 8, Sheitan, 2006. Sheitan serves as a climactic entry, combining a Christmas celebration with a satanic ritual. Young Parisians meet a mysterious girl at a Christmas Eve nightclub who invites them to her countryside estate for continued partying. What awaits is a supernatural nightmare involving demon worship and ritual sacrifice. The estate is populated by locals who seem eccentric but harmless, rural French people with unusual customs. But they're actually generational satanic cult members using a remote location for impossible city rituals. The supernatural horror centers on cult worship of Sheitan, a demon demanding blood sacrifice for power and protection. Christmas Eve timing isn't coincidental. It's when the demon's influence peaks and the cult conducts most essential rituals. The Parisians were lured specifically as sacrifices. What makes Sheitan unsettling is blending supernatural horror with realistic cult behavior. Locals don't have prominent demonic features. They're ordinary people serving evil. Their rituals combine Christian imagery with satanic symbolism, creating a blasphemous fusion that corrupts both traditions. Vincent Cassel's cult leader performance is genuinely terrifying. A man entirely given to demonic influence, retaining human intelligence while serving inhuman purposes. He represents ultimate Christmas spirit corruption, using holiday giving and sharing to mask taking lives for his demon master. These 8 films prove Christmas horror works by subverting our deepest holiday expectations. While we expect peace and joy, these movies deliver ancient demons and vengeful ghosts, feeding on our traditions. From Krampus's punishment of lost Christmas spirit to Sheitan's satanic corruption, each film weaponizes different aspects of Christmas against us. They tap into universal fears about family dysfunction, lost innocence, and the possibility that our cherished traditions hide something darker. These international films reveal Christmas horror as a global phenomenon. Whether Dutch ghost stories, Finnish demon myths, or French occult nightmares, cultures worldwide inject supernatural terror into winter celebrations. The next time you're hanging stockings or singing carols, remember these films. In Christmas horror, you never know what might be listening from the shadows, waiting to turn your holiday joy into a supernatural nightmare. Which Christmas demon would you least want to encounter during your celebration? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more horror content that will ruin your favorite holidays.